Beer on tap, tables about to snap. Wide right miss, take another sip. From Orchard Park to the studio, Mikey B and Jeff with a G. It's the Bears and Buffalo Show.
And we're live, Bears and Buffalo podcast, season 7, episode 25, back at it again for another week of the NFL playoffs. Well, actually, we're getting down to the wire here. We got one more game left in 2 weeks.
The big game, 2 weeks.
The big game.
San Francisco, California. Not the teams that we wanted to be in.
It's not in San Francisco.
Oh, is it Vegas this year?
No, but that's not where they play. They play in Santa Clara, the 49ers.
Whatever, you know what I mean. It's the 49ers. Shut up. Don't get too fucking technical. Make me feel like an idiot. Oh, God, did I fuck that up? Because I know it's in Vegas soon, too.
Maybe next year for Vegas. Super Bowl 60. We'll preview that a little bit more in depth next week. This episode, I think we got some Bills news. We're going to talk about some coaching hiring. We'll recap the conference championship games. We'll sprinkle in that Super Bowl predictions. And then, next week, like I said, we'll do more depth about the Super Bowl, and we'll do some maybe end-of-the-year awards for both the Bills and the beer, and just some general awards all in all for this 2025 season. And then real quick, before we get into the beer, I want to tell everybody about an opportunity we have for a potential sponsor for next season. Around the Corner Saloon and Cafe in Lakewood, Ohio. Shout out to Hefty Lefty from my sports betting Discord for the opportunity. We're planning on making the trip next season to do kind of like an end of preseason, maybe like a prediction type of episode. We're going to do it live at his bar. It's also a huge Bills backer bar as well, so should be a packed house. I don't have any details yet, but stay tuned for that. We'll definitely have details out when we get closer to that date, but I imagine when we kick off the preseason, we'll still do our draft for 2026 draft episode, and we might do a few more before then and the preseason starts, but this will definitely be, I think, a preseason type of episode. That way we'll have a lot to talk about for I guess our predictions and how the season's going to look, right? Jeff and I, we're both stoked for that opportunity. We're looking forward to next season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Huge opportunity for us. And, like you said, shout out to Hefty Lefty for just giving us that opportunity to begin with. I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Before we get into the beer, or the Bills, we're going to get into the beer. Didn't even start drinking yet. Jeff, you brought it today. What do we got here?
So this is a returning brewery, Other Half Brewing Company. We've had them at least once before. Yeah. This is called Forever Ever. It's a double dry hopped hazy India Pale Ale. And you know I love my hazy IPAs. Yeah. So I was all over this. And then I saw it was only a 4.7% strength for a beer IPA. You couldn't get me hooked faster on this. So I'm excited for it.
Cool can.
It's a fun can. You know I love my cans. I haven't even looked at what's actually in it. I don't know if you did or not, but...
I got the website up here.
Great pours all around for both of us here. Shout out to us.
Hops, Cashmere, Citra, Mosaic.
Episode.
I don't think they have really any specific. Usually they give you a little thing on here.
Massively double dry hopped, low ABV crusher with notes of peach tea, citrus, passion fruit, and mango. I'm all for it. Hops are Mosaic, Cashmere, and Citra. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know anything about hops. So I'm all for it, but I like the peach tea. That sounds good. Citrus, passion fruit, mango. Those are all good flavors. So let's see how it drinks.
Cheers.
It's very low smell. There's not a lot. It could be because I have a cold too. But,
no, I smell it. I definitely smell it.
Okay, then I got a little bit of a cold because I'm not getting any of those fruits that I was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting the fruits. Definitely mango. More like the citrus, mango. I'm getting off. Not necessarily the peach or anything like that, but
yeah, I got the mango. The citrus is very acidic, so that hits you right away. Oh, Jesus. A little bit of a mango right off on the back end there, but very good. Like it says, very crushable. I could drink a lot of these.
I forgot to pull up. I want to pull up the chat thing too on here. I forgot to do that ahead of time. Because why not? We might get some questions as we go through this episode because we got some fun things to talk about.
Are they fun or are they just Bills related?
I mean,
a little bit of both, maybe.
It could be.
I do have a slight, not a stat, a slight little piece of optimism for Joe Brady that I'll get into a little bit. I don't know if you've heard of it or if anybody else has heard of it, but I will try to dissect that a little bit as much as possible to try to, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't happy about the signing. I thought for sure Joe Brady needed to be the one to be fired. Bare minimum. Before McDermott, offensive, defensive coordinator, which they're both gone now. Well,
we didn't. Hold on. Before we get into that, we didn't even rank our beer.
We didn't rank the beer. See, look at that. Well, you threw me off guard. And I just started rambling.
Nah, you're good. You're good. Other half brewing. I don't think we did one this year. I know we've done them before, though.
I've definitely done an orange or another half. It was tables on tables last year.
Yes, you're correct on that one.
Yeah.
Let me get another sip on this thing.
It's pretty good. Like I said, I can't smell it. My nose is all stuffed up. They'll probably sound extra nasally and extra whiny today.
It's definitely like, it feels like an IPA light.
That's what I mean. It's like I saw that 4.7. I said, sign me up for a hazy IPA, and it's a lighter side of the beer. Very good.
Well, to give you in perspective, the last hazy we did was right after the bye week, the wave table.
Yeah.
And that was 6.7%, so 2% more higher.
Yeah.
I like this a lot, dude. I'm going to give it an, what did I get last? Probably give this an 8.4.
I was thinking 8.5, so I'm right there with you.
There you go.
We're right on like par with our tastings, except for that one Bud Light Stadium beer.
8.5 on that one.
I like it. Good beer. Very crushable.
All right. Let's get into it now. So the latest news here, as of yesterday, the Bills hired offensive coordinator Joe Brady as their new head coach. I don't have the details. I just know signed a 5-year deal. Do we have the money yet on that?
I have not seen the money information. I've been looking for that. I hope it's not anything outrageous because I think the going rate right now is about 13 to 15 million for a head coach. A newer head coach that's not really established, like a Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson. That's kind of what they're getting paid around. So I'm hoping it's around that. I just hope it's not, top tier coaching.
Yeah, as I looked that up, Brady was fired from the Panthers in 21, joined the Bills in 22 as the QB's coach. From there, he was an interim OC halfway through the 23 season after the Ken Dorsey firing, and the position was officially his in 2024. Now, 1 full year under his belt. He's the guy that's going to be replacing Sean McDermott.
I did not see that coming, and honestly, like I said, when I was rambling while you were trying to do something with the YouTube chat, I said that was the first person I thought needed to be fired because I'm sick of seeing the screen passes. I'm sick of being predictable. First down, we're going to run it. Anything that the Bills are doing, like Joe Brady has a major say in, and it's just it got too predictable. It was like run on first down. Here's like 6 bubble screens out of 8 plays. Like they're not working. You're too predictable. None of this shit works. Change it up. Do something. And like you alluded to last week or 2 weeks ago, you did like those fourth down like end arounds where we catch you a turn and toss it to somebody else. I don't know the exact name of that play, but I do agree with you. Those were good plays.
Oh, I like the fake because we do the tush push almost a given on those 4th inches, and I get it. That'll work. But I would like to see them do a fake tush push and kind of pitch it and hand it out wide or pitch it out wide. I feel like that would work almost every single time because everybody's ready for Josh Allen up the middle. So I don't know. I do like to see something a little bit different other than the same old tush push. Joe Brady is the youngest current head coach, or will be the youngest current head coach at 36 years of age.
Which I'm okay with because Sean McVay was the youngest head coach at one point.
36, dude.
Sean McVay was younger than when he got the head coaching job.
It's crazy, dude.
It is, but that's kind
I'm going to be 37.
That's the new wave.
This dude's 36.
That's the new wave of head coaches.
I could be a head coach.
No, you couldn't.
I played Madden, dude.
Yeah,
you'll ask Madden most of my
childhood up until I was
probably 30, dude. I definitely think I could coach the Bills.
It's funny that you mentioned that because there was a meme because the Browns, everybody was dropping out of the head coaching candidacy. And they're like, well, we're going to have to resort to people that play Madden professionally to come be our head coach. So I thought that was kind of funny.
So Brady was hired as the Bills head coach to provide some stability, continuity, I think, for the offense, because particularly he's got that relationship with Josh Allen. I'm guessing that's one of the main reasons why we decided to go in-house with this one, that personal connection with the team, and also just keeping that culture alive, I think, too. I don't know if maybe they were afraid of changing the culture. If we go ahead and get somebody from the outside in, they go ahead and change everything that Sean built. Because I will say, just because he's failed at getting us to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl doesn't necessarily mean the team was bad or the culture was bad or people didn't want to come to the Bills because we couldn't get over the hump. He built something good here, and that was the most important part, was building that culture. So maybe that was another reason why we go in-house with this one. And also Josh won't have to learn a new offense for 2026. It's the guy he's familiar with.
The biggest issue I have is it's been reported that Joe Brady will still be calling plays next year, which
as of now, I don't know. That's to be seen still.
So they're not going to hire an offensive coordinator, or how does that work? If the head coach is calling the plays, do you need an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, you do, because we still had a defensive coordinator when Sean McDermott was calling the plays on defense.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't know how that works.
I don't know either, the specifics, but I think they'll bring somebody in, and whether or not they're going to let him call the plays or not, that'll be decided. Maybe because it's like the first year type of thing, we're going to keep that, like I said, continuity with Josh. He's familiar with Joe Brady. He was calling the plays last year. Maybe for the first year to ease things into it, I'll call the plays. But I don't know. That could change. Who knows? I think I've seen that shit change mid-season with some teams where the coach hands over the play calling duties to a different person.
See, I usually see the opposite. I usually see where a coach is like, I'm taking over the play calling duties.
Or maybe that's it too, but it could change mid-season.
Right. I'm not sure. I'm a little concerned about that, though, because not only do you have a 36-year-old head coach who is a first-time head coach, he doesn't have to just oversee the offense. He's got to oversee offense, defense, special teams. He's got so much more on his plate, and you want him to still call plays. I get keeping the continuity with the offensive coordinator becoming the head coach to stay with Josh. Totally understand that, but I would bring in an offensive coordinator and work in with that offensive coordinator to see the same values that you have. Be like, hey, listen, this is why I'm go through your interview process. Be like, listen, this is what I think. I want to hear what you think. This is what I think. This is what I want you to. I want to know what you think about this. And when they find that common ground with an offensive coordinator, it's like, okay, Joe Brady's like, I see myself in you. So let's go with this coordinator. So that way we're both on the same page and we can bounce off of each other and work with each other. But just Joe Brady calling plays kind of scares me a little bit because he has to worry about the offense, the defense, the special teams, and he also has to worry about managing a game on top of that as well.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. Not every coordinator can be a head coach. It takes special people to be a head coach.
Yeah. I'm looking here. Probably the next steps here, at least what I've been reading, is to try to find a defensive coordinator because Bobby Babich is no longer with the team. He gets a job as like an assistant defensive passing court. I don't know what. He had some weird title in Green Bay. So at first I seen the name Jim Leonhard pop up, which is the Broncos defensive pass coordinator, as the leading candidate. But then halfway through the day today, I saw a news article that Jim Schwartz could be available, although he's under contract still, so I don't know how this works out. If because they just hired a new head coach for the Browns, if he wants to clean house, I guess that contract doesn't matter anymore, and Jim Schwartz would be looking for a job, which, I mean, Cleveland's had a top-notch defense for a few years now.
He was our old defensive coordinator during the drought, and that was probably the lone bright spot for the Bills, was how good our defense was. And there were a lot of people clamoring that Jim Schwartz never should have gotten the boot and should have gotten the defense or the head coaching position before Sean McDermott. And I think that was right around the same time.
Yeah. So, I mean, a shift in defensive philosophy would be, more in line with the decision to move from McDermott, who was, like we said, calling those plays on defense. I can see them going, out of house for that. Obviously, I don't know if we got anybody left unless we want to hire like the linebackers coach to be our fucking defensive coordinator. I don't know if the Bills go 100% in house with every one of these moves. I think they have to reach outside a little bit. The defense was a weak part of our team last year too. So I like the Jim Schwartz move if that's a possibility. Again, like you said, having some familiarity with the team would be good. I mean, of the coaches on staff, a couple who have established a history with Brady, could have been considered for future roles, included the quarterbacks coach, Ronald Curry, an offensive quality control coach, and the assistant wide receivers coach, DJ Mangus. So they have some guys in-house that could be in the running for some jobs here, for some promotions. But it'll be interesting what they end up doing.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we got rid of one guy to change this philosophy, change the dynamics of this team, but we're just going to keep promoting from within. It's like I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. I'm trying to remain optimistic. That press conference really set me back a long ways. That was so embarrassing, and I've never been like so unsure of a team that has just gone to the playoffs 8 years in a row and still has a Super Bowl window partially open mainly because of our quarterback, but because of what this team has done. And now I'm looking at this ownership and I'm just like, what are we doing? Now it makes sense why the Sabres have been dog shit for 14 years because of ownership. Sabres obviously are turning it around, but I'm a little worried about, I think that press conference is really going to deter outside people wanting to come in. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here, Pagula did put the selection of Keon Coleman basically on the coaching staff, specifically McDermott's plate there. Not sure what the future holds for Keon Coleman for next
bizarre.
year, because you kind of just threw your number one receiver under the bus and saying we don't want you anymore, or we never wanted you, I should say, and that we expected you to have a little bit more growth by this time. So significant work, I think, is going to need to be done to this roster. We're going to need probably a total roster overhaul. And they're saying right now, I mean, Bean's going to be calling the shots still, but Brady there'll be some collaboration there going into the draft.
And not only for the draft, but just the fact that Joe Brady was LSU's quarterback coach in 2019 when that's a record-setting offense for that year. Justin Jefferson was on that team. So it's like, okay, Joe Brady, like, work your magic a little bit with Bean. Yeah. Like, hey, Bean, just go get Jefferson. Like,
get Jefferson on the team. We'd have to give up. We'd have to give up a couple firsts, maybe three. I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to give up everything. But at this point, giving up a first is like giving up a second, because we haven't really done much with our firsts, anyways.
And they're so late in the first round. What does it matter?
What does it matter? Yeah, you're right. But also, we just have been missing too. So like, to that point, trade our first away. We probably would have. I mean, are we going to get somebody better than Justin Jefferson in the next 3 drafts? Probably not.
It's very unlikely.
Probably not, dude.
We're drafting, like you just said, not where we're drafting. We're not getting a Justin Jefferson type receiver.
Yeah, because the end of the first round, beginning of the second round, those guys that could have the potential, and even that's a long shot, but the guys that could have the potential are gone in the first 5 picks. So I'm down. The familiarity, the LSU connection there, Bring Jettas in here, dude.
Yeah.
Josh.
There'd be another Bean to Minnesota trade.
Josh, Justin, and James, dude. The triple J.
Oh, shit. We got the JJJs out there.
JJJJ, yeah. And Joe Brady. The Quadres.
Quadres.
Quad J's.
Quad J's. Say that 10 times fast.
And Jesus. All right.
Now you're stretching it.
I think nobody, though, is going to be feeling this pressure more than Brady this upcoming season, though. Like, it's all on his shoulders. He's replacing Sean McDermott, who is, I think, the winningest coach over that. Besides, maybe, I don't know if what's his face had him. Reed had him by a little bit, but I mean, if he wasn't the second winningest coach over that 7-year span, you got big shoes to fill. Despite, I don't want to hear about this. We haven't got over the. It's look what he's been able to do with the team and achieve every year. So the bar is set at minimum of playoffs automatically. So first year on the Joe,
it's got to be divisional round or
right. But I'm saying minimum for a new head coach. You look at what your predecessor has done every year, divisional round and conference championship round. You have to at least make the divisional round. You're right. So I'd say at least playoffs in your first year. At least playoffs in your first year.
I got to disagree with her because I think you at least have to go to the AFC Championship game at this point because your owner said we fired our head coach after 9 years.
I'll give him
because we hit a proverbial playoff wall. So you're telling me that we don't bring somebody else in? We have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL on our team. We have a top 5 running back on our team. You're telling me that you can't get to the AFC Championship game minimum year one? Like, I think that is right now, based off of what our owner has said, that's got to be bare minimum for year one, which is huge pressure on the coach.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why it's like, does Joe Brady really need to be calling plays when he's also got all this pressure of being the head coach after
managing the players and team?
After who's he taking over for?
Well, maybe he's obviously going to say that he can do it. I don't think he's going to back down from that challenge. So if they put this in front of him and say, hey, look, it's divisional round or bust. Now, they're not saying that, but he knows it. I mean, he's obviously not going to be like, well, I think I'm going to need some help. We're going to need it. He's just going to go in at head first, dude. And it's either going to be really ugly or it's going to work out. I feel like there's not going to be a happy medium next year. You're going to see the Bills either return to what they used to be, because this could spark something here. This changing coaching is either going to be good or really bad for the team, and it's how you respond to it. So the team could come out and be on fire, and we can win the division again. I see that as an option. Or we shit the bed, but I don't see us going 8-8, dude. I don't know. No, I just don't know. I feel it's
playoffs.
8-8. I don't see it. If we miss playoffs, dude, I was like, could we fire him if we miss playoffs?
Yeah, but why couldn't you?
5-year contract,
I really think
dude.
Brandon Beane has to be on a leash right now. So that was another reason. Topic I want to bring up. Brandon Beane has to be on a short leash now. The owner and Brandon Beane made this decision to bring in Joe Brady after getting rid of Sean McDermott. Beane has to. Pagula has to look at Beane and be like, listen, I took the blame for this. I took all of the, I made the decision to fire the coach. I'm letting you bring in our boy Joe Brady. You got to do something with this team now, because this is probably going to be your last coaching hire.
Well,
this can't. Brandon Beane cannot physically hold his job and hire another head coach.
How do we know that they're not in cahoots with each other? Like, and when I say that, I'm like, what's going on behind closed doors with Beane and Pagula? Is there something there that you're not seeing publicly where, like, hey man, no, you're good, your job's going to be safe no matter what happens this year, I got you? Or is Pagula able to think for himself and go, hey, I mean, we fired the wrong guy, or we should have fired both, or I made a mistake? Is he actually going to be able to admit that to himself and make the hard decision? Or is he like him and Beane are like this, and for all we know, he'll never fire Beane, dude?
Yeah, so I when I think of Terry Pagula, I always think back to the Sabres and just the atrocity that he had. Kevin Adams should have been fired probably 2 to 3 years ago. It's unreal how long Kevin Adams kept his job.
I'm saying, holding on to a guy, dude.
And it was for too long. And now look at this team. I understand it's the team that Kevin Adams built, but you bring in this new GM, this new attitude. When we got rid of Kevin Adams and we brought in Yarmo, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. This team, there was a sense of actual professionalism with the organization, with the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
And it took so long for Terry Pagula to finally make a change with that. It's like, I feel like at this point, I'm looking more at McDermott being more like the Kevin Adams, obviously not GM to head coach, but just how long he held on for. And, it's like, okay, well, they got rid of Kevin Adams. They got rid of McDermott. I think Beane at this point has to be thinking,
well, he's next on the chopping.
My job's got to be on the line.
he might be thinking that, but I don't know if like what's been said behind closed doors. Like I said, like if they got some sort of thing like, hey, don't worry, you're good for at least a while. Like,
what's a while though?
I don't know. He might, and I'm just snowballing here. Like, could he be one of these guys where his job is basically good? Is there any repercussions if they have another bad draft? Will they just blame it on Brady? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm worried about.
Can't be blamed on Brady though.
But well, they just said it's going to be in collaboration with Brady, so with personnel. So I mean, maybe
that's a good thing then, because we didn't hear about that with. If I don't know.
I'm just saying, could they have lined up another scapegoat again? Like, and I'm saying it's more of Bean getting in Pagula's ear, being able to manipulate the owner.
I see that.
That's where I'm afraid that could happen if the shit gets out of hand. He goes like, oh, it's this first year 36-year-old coach. We'll just fucking fire him. That's a possibility. Now, what I'm saying is, can Pagula think for himself in respect of him, be like, look, shit's not working out. We fired McDermott. I gotta let this guy go. That's what I want to happen. He's got to be able to make the tough calls. If need be, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves with that. I mean, I know it doesn't look good on paper. Like I think the general notion is like the feel of Buffalo is, man, this wasn't the guy we wanted. Like we wanted Clint Kubiak.
Okay, so I alluded to this before we started talking about this. So from what I've heard is that the Bills were kind of scared to lose Joe Brady, in the sense that here's this young offensive-minded head coach in a league where offensive-minded coaching is probably top priority right now, and they're scared to lose him because a lot of other teams interviewed him. Baltimore interviewed him. The Raiders had multiple interviews with him. I think he had another interview somewhere else. Joe Brady.
Okay.
So Joe Brady had interviews elsewhere between Baltimore, or the Raiders, and I forget the other team that he had an interview for. And they look at, like, Liam Cohen was on the Tampa Bay roster. Tampa Bay probably could have fired their head coach a year ago and promoted Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen goes to a different team, has huge success.
Yep. Same
thing with Mike McDonald of Seattle. Mm-hmm. He was in Baltimore. Baltimore probably could have fired their head coach last year, and then had Mike McDonald in-house to take over. Mike McDonald's having huge success. The one thing that I'm trying to stay optimistic about is that the Bills probably saw Joe Brady as, well, he's getting a lot of head coaching opportunities or interviews elsewhere. He's a young, good offensive coordinator. The Bills have been great with Joe Brady. They've got I wished I would have wrote down the stats that I saw earlier. The yards per game, the scoring per game, everything offensively was better with Joe Brady than it was with Brian Daboll and Ken Dorsey.
Okay.
So it's like, I kind of get it from that standpoint, and I'm kind of hoping that, like, that optimism for a head coach, you don't want to see him leave and go to this other team and have success, kind of makes me think, okay, maybe the Bills actually know something, just because of past history that he's had with this team and Josh Allen. We know what they're capable of. They scored 30 points a game, and we know 90%, well, maybe 70% of the reason that the Bills didn't win more games was probably because of defense.
The games that we lost, we averaged 20 points a game or something. I think I saw a stat there. So, I mean, when we win, we were winning. We were scoring points. When we lost, dude, it was 20 or less every time. We weren't putting the points on the board. Whether or not that was a defensive, whether or not we were going against a top defense like we did with the Texans, or it was just like a lack of offense.
We lost by 3 points to the Texans, and we had 8 sacks on Josh Allen.
I know.
So that's one of those things where it's like, if the defense steps up a little bit, it makes another stop and we win that game.
It could be. It could be. 3-point games, though, they can go either way.
We're not going to be able to score 30-plus points every game.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm got college basketball on the TV. Got bets on. I pulled up the Clint Kubiak thing here. So he had interviews set up later in the week with Arizona and Vegas, which I didn't think he could do interviews until after the Super Bowl.
So here's the thing. The Bills couldn't interview him. So it depends on when you fired your head coach, and if you did a virtual interview with him at some point.
I thought they had to wait
before,
till after the team was out of the playoffs
you have to
or the Super Bowl.
I don't know. The verbiage is weird from what I saw. The Bills couldn't because they didn't have a virtual interview with him before, and that was based off of when they fired McDermott. Now the Steelers could have interviewed him this week had they not hired Mike McCarthy because they fired Mike Tomlin the week before. The Raiders fired their coach.
So you got to wait a week then?
I don't know how that
Somebody
works.
in the chat, if you're watching, throw something in the chat if you know this. What is the situation if you fire your head coach? How long do you have to wait for the other coach to interview with that team? Because I don't know the specifics. I just thought it was after the team is out, like the team that you want to go for. Once their team is eliminated or they win the Super Bowl, once they're done playing, then you can interview them in the postseason. But because that was why I thought we couldn't do it because they were winning, so the Bills couldn't. And I was like, well, now what? We got to wait till after the Super Bowl. And then I saw the Joe Brady hire, and I'm like, wow, we fucked up. We should have.
We weren't allowed to interview him for 2 more weeks, and I don't think the Bills wanted to sit around and wait for someone that they didn't know. And then there's the other part of the fear where Joe Brady go get scooped up by one of these other teams, probably the Raiders at this point, because I think he was the only one that was interviewing for that job at that point. But you know what I mean? It's like, okay, like I get the Joe Brady hiring because you don't want to wait on a potential hiring when you probably sent this guy. If it could be, I could have been like, no, I'm good. I'm coming back to Seattle next year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do anything with that dumpster fire of the organization that you.
I don't even think he's allowed to publicly say anything though. That's where I was getting. So, but then I'm looking at this and it says, so he's got interviews set up next week with Arizona and Vegas. And then this person who wrote the article said he's getting the sense that he would rather return to Seattle than take a head coaching job with Arizona. The Cardinals are a pretty non-desirable destination, although Vegas is honestly in the same boat as
Vegas is kind of desirable. They have a very good running back in Ashton Genty.
Sure.
They have Brock Bowers.
Sure.
They have the number 1 overall pick. The problem they have is they don't have an offensive fucking line that's going to protect their first overall pick, Mendoza, if they do draft him first overall as a quarterback, because that dude's going to be running for his life. Geno Smith's got to be kicking himself for not getting re-signed with Seattle because they just went to they're going to the Super Bowl this year. Geno Smith, like, that could have been me because that team was much better this year.
Where are the Cardinals? Are they in Phoenix? They're in Glendale.
Phoenix.
So maybe the lure of playing in Vegas versus Glendale is another thing.
An hour and a half from each other, brother.
But I'm saying Vegas is a bigger market.
Yeah,
it's a desire. It's an entertainment.
It's because it's up and coming with sports. It was entertainment, now it's sport,
right?
Too. Because they're getting the athletics.
Because I mean, the Cardinals have Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. So like you got potential there in offense,
right.
And you could make things work with Kyler if you wanted to.
Benson wasn't a bad running back when healthy.
No, but I get so that's what I'm saying is like I don't know. I'd give Vegas a slight edge just with the personnel and the opportunity. Plus you got Max Crosby if he decides to stay with you on defense. But like I think Vegas itself, just playing in Vegas is. I think for a coach, I'd rather play in Vegas than play in Scott or Glendale.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the difference too is there's much more for you to get in trouble with in Vegas than there is in Scottsdale, Arizona. Like you go to Vegas, you got the strip clubs, you got the main strip of the casinos, you got all of that down there.
You got Pawn Stars.
You got Pawn Stars, you got Porn Stars, you got all the stars down there.
All the stars are down there.
But that's what I mean. It's like, okay, so it's like Vegas, like, yeah, it's desirable, but now you got to babysit your players and make sure that they're not going to be fucking degenerates and be like,
you don't. This isn't college, yeah, but it's not college, dude. That's on
you
them.
don't think that, but
no, but you're not babysitting. That's my point.
You are.
You're not
babysitting in the NFL.
Yeah, you're not babysitting. I would not be.
Not to that extent.
I wouldn't be babysitting. You put it out there. Your players know their repercussions. You're off the team, man. Like that's it. Because there's no tolerance for that in the NFL, man. Especially if you're like not a star, dude. People they'll be on the practice squad the next day.
Henry Ruggs is in jail because he couldn't handle the Vegas lifestyle.
Okay, that's my point. He's not babysitting him. That he made a wrong choice.
Should have babysat him.
Nah, dude. Well, that's it. He made a wrong choice, dude.
They should have babysat him. That's what I mean.
I don't think so.
Vegas, you got to babysit a little bit of these younger players that come in earlier than they should.
Maybe I don't know.
Some of these players, if they don't stay in college long enough,
you got to grow up fast in the NFL, in my opinion.
That's what I feel bad about Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's 22 years old.
I get it.
And you got a fucking 70-year-old man 70-year-old billionaire talking shit about him and dogging him.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I want Keon Coleman. If he doesn't stay with Buffalo, I want that motherfucker to succeed wherever he goes.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I just don't think he hasn't performed, dude. I don't know what it is, whether or not that was play calling, scheme, whatever. We didn't have the right people. He's not a number one. So if you had Justin Jefferson, does he do good as a number two?
Absolutely.
Like, you don't know the situation that you're in. So, like, I'm not going to blame him for, being as bad as just because he sucks. He didn't perform, and that's the facts. You look at the numbers from the year before to this year, they went down. They didn't go up. They could either go up or down or stay the same. That's the three things that could happen. And they didn't stay the same, and they didn't go up. All right. So I don't know, but whether or not the babysitting thing, I will disagree on that thing. But so those are the last two coaching spots left. The 8 that were filled, I got a good rankings here from USA Today. The number 1, obviously, unanimously, Jim Harbaugh going to the Giants. Number 2, they put Jesse Minter for the Ravens, maybe just because of the situation he's going into with Baltimore being an established team. You have a franchise quarterback. You have Henry for the foreseeable future. I forget how much time he's got left on his.
And you also didn't have an owner come out and have an absolute shit show of press.
Oh, they were praising that owner. He was like, he was good in front of the camera. Number 3 is Stefanski going to Atlanta.
Great hire.
Number 4 was Robert Saleh going to Tennessee. I mean, the team was shit, but you have Cam Ward to work with. Yeah. So, and Robert Saleh,
a lot of money.
That first year, Robert Saleh, I thought, was okay. He was a good coach. And then they went. And that's probably, maybe it's the Jets, dude. Maybe it's the Jets.
Is a horrible owner.
You got a bad owner. Yeah. And they didn't have much to work with there outside of Garrett Wilson, really. I think Breece Hall, I mean, I don't know. That's a weird situation. But Tennessee, start fresh, rookie quarterback. You can mold him the way you want to. Wasn't he number 1 overall pick? So, like, you should be able to do some things there if he's got the right coach and you get some playmakers around him. Number 5, they put Brady right in the middle here for the Bills. Number 6 was Jeff Hafley to the Dolphins. I don't even know where he came from.
Couldn't tell you.
I had to look that up.
Maybe? It sounds like a Broncos guy.
Sounds like a Broncos.
I think it was. I don't think. Shit.
Jeff Hafley.
Was he already on the Dolphins?
Let's see if they got something on his wiki here.
Probably not.
Packers, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
No. Where is it at? 2024.
Defensive coordinator for the Packers?
Yeah, I think he was. He was on the Packers. Okay. That makes sense.
That makes sense why they went from an offensive-minded coach to defensive. That's what everybody's been doing, Although I don't know what the Ravens did.
I don't know what Jesse Minter. I think he was a defensive guy, though. I thought Jesse Minter was defensive.
That makes sense. Everybody's going backwards. They're going opposite. It's the opposite day with your head coach.
Mike McCarthy at number 7 to the Steelers, which I didn't think it was that bad. Apparently, everybody else thinks that was a terrible hiring.
I don't think it's a terrible hire either.
Well, the Steeler fans don't like it because I read on...
the Bills fans didn't like Joe Brady. So
I get it.
Either Joe Brady or Mike McCarthy. I'd rather Joe Brady.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I honestly probably would have taken Mike McCarthy just for the fact of having somebody outside the organization, because I was more in line with getting an external source. Now, a couple of these guys I haven't heard of here, and Tom Monken here
Tom Monken. He was
Monken.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens when they were fucking fantastic.
So
Tom Monken's really good.
I don't know. Mike McCarthy had like the number 1 offense there with Dallas for like 2 years, dude.
And Mike McCarthy can develop a quarterback. He did it in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. He did it. Dak Prescott's, yes, I understand he's been in the league for 10 years and hasn't amounted to anything. I have a fun little stat for you, too. Remind me a little bit later on. But Mike McCarthy did a good job for a little bit in Dallas. The offense was good, but the defense was shit. And then the offensive line was shit because their GM didn't their owner/GM didn't fucking rebuild the offensive line after the Zeke Elliott years. I think Mike McCarthy's not a horrible head coach. And if he gets Aaron Rodgers, they can draft a quarterback that they believe in that can, sit behind Aaron Rodgers, bare minimum a year, if Aaron Rodgers is willing to come back and do that, which I would assume he is with McCarthy. I think McCarthy's got a good opportunity ahead of him because he knows that defense is going to be really good.
Yeah.
They've already got a top, 5-6 defense.
So his first and last year in Dallas, McCarthy weren't the greatest, but if you look at the middle years here, 21, 22, and 23, in 20 and 21, they had the fourth most. Where am I at? I'm sorry. First most. They were number 1 in yards on offense and number 1 in points. In 22, they were number 11 in yards, 4th in points, and and in 23, they were 3rd in yards and 5th in points. So, like, basically a top 5 offense for 3 years. Why do the Steeler fans not want this guy?
Probably because...
Is it the Aaron Rodgers reunion, possibly? Like,
probably is, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think...
They shouldn't even be... Honestly, Rodgers has got to be gone by now, dude. I think it's time.
I would think so, too, but I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers isn't a horrible... Aaron Rodgers isn't a horrible decision. I guess I'm getting nice in that. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a horrible decision to come back and have a young rookie. And also, who do they have? They just drafted somebody last year.
Will Howard.
Will Howard. I knew it was Will something. Maybe Will Howard's the answer. And now that he's going to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a second year and have Mike McCarthy, an offensive-minded head coach, also sit with him. Like that might not be a bad decision to make. I might be okay with that.
I didn't even realize this.
Yeah, Brian Daboll went to the Tennessee Titans as an offensive.
Daboll went to the Titans, so
I think it's great. They got a great They got a great defensive head coach, and Brian Daboll is going to be a fantastic offensive coordinator.
I wonder if he even wanted to come back here. He probably didn't want to come back if he was a head coach. Yeah. Damn it, dude.
I was so split on Brian Daboll. Part of me is because I was so pissed at Brian Daboll that year that we went to the Houston Texans and lost that game in the playoffs because of Brian Daboll decided, we're up 2 scores. We're just gonna, we're gonna lay back on the offense and we're gonna run the ball more and just try to kill clock, and it didn't work out. They stopped trying to be aggressive. They stopped trying to let Josh be Josh, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I liked Brian Daboll. I would have been okay with him, but at the same time, it's like, I didn't agree with your offensive coordinator duties when you were in Buffalo.
Those last 2 years in Buffalo as the OC, we were number 2 in yards and number 2 in points, number 5 in yards and number 3 in points. So again, another top 5 offense with him as our coordinator. I don't know. I think he's a better coordinator than coach so far with the track record. Yeah, I thought
he had a great year, and
he did. It was a second year with the Giants. They won a playoff game. So I mean, like,
and then the Giants had Joe Shane, the former assistant GM of the Buffalo Bills.
So I mean,
said, let's pay Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley, and let's franchise tag Saquon Barkley after one good year of Daniel Jones.
So now you got to look at it this way: if they keep Saquon instead of Daniel Jones goes somewhere else. It might not have been the Colts. The Colts might not have had a good year this year. Saquon isn't on the Eagles. Eagles might not have won a Super Bowl. The Giants might not have drafted Cam Scatterboo. Maybe they still get Jackson Dart. Now you're looking at a Jackson Dart. Let's just say they do, and these things fold out differently. Jackson Dart with Saquon, and then Brian Daboll still there.
Whew.
Now and you have a healthy Neighbors.
Come
on now, man.
I don't think the Giants are. I think Jim Harbaugh going to the Giants is probably a great fit because I think the Giants are, like you said, they got Malik Neighbors when he comes back healthy.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, if he can stop running his head into a brick wall without a helmet on, and same with Cam Scatterboo, stop running your head into a brick wall. Those 2 players are like the Bash Brothers.
I think they need a coach like Harbaugh. I think there needs to be some structure because these guys are kind of doing, I think they're out there willy-nilly flying around kind of recklessly. And I think Harbaugh is the perfect coach to come in there, provide the structure, and I think give them the right leadership that they need. Daboll is the more like players coach type of person too. So like, it's going to be a whole difference in culture. It's going to be different. I think the Giants, though, this was a good. I think Colin Cowherd said something about this where they're going to double their wins or something because he said it the year before with the Patriots. Well, the Patriots, he said, I think the Patriots come out and at least double their wins. Obviously, look at where they're at this year. And now the Giants this year, they'll be better next year and they'll double their wins. And I believe that as well. I think the coach will make a big difference because you already have the team around you. It's just let's get the right coach in there. Hopefully Neighbors isn't hurt for a season-ending injury in the beginning of the season, and you can make a good push here, right? The Stefanski hiring was, I think, a good hiring for Atlanta. Raheem Morris, I don't know, man. I think he made some boneheaded plays as head coach there. I remember him just going for it on 4th down one time instead of kicking a game-winning field goal, which would have been a game-winning field goal. So, I don't know, man. It's just, I just feel like, I know it's just one example here, but like I just got the feeling he wasn't a good head coach. Better coordinator. I think he was a defensive coordinator, right? So like
he was.
A lot of these guys, same with Saleh. We'll see what happens, but he might be one of these guys that is going to turn out to be a better coordinator. Head coach isn't for everybody. You have to have a certain personality. You have to have a certain style. You have to be able to hire the right coordinators around you when you're not a coordinator, right? So, and you have to lead these guys, man. You're the guy that makes the decisions. You're approving everything. So a lot of these guys that end up being, are really good coordinators aren't always cut out to be head coaches, and we're seeing that a lot of time where a guy gets the opportunity and can't make the most out of it and ends up getting fired like 3 years later, and guess what, he's right back at being a fucking coordinator again.
Was Raheem Morris 1 and done, or was he 2 and done?
No, he was more than, I think he was,
because I know the Patriots old head coach, I already forgot his name. I know.
Yeah, I know. We talked about the other.
Yeah. I don't think I really think that Raheem Morris, I feel like it was 1 and done.
Rams 3.
He had 3 years in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right, yeah, that dude definitely deserved to get fired. I thought he was 1 and
Wait.
done.
Coaching results. That's something different, I think. Down here. Okay, here we go.
2
in Atlanta, 2 in okay. So, I didn't know that. So he was Tampa 3 years, then Atlanta, then he went to the Rams, then he went back to Atlanta.
Hold on, did I say head coach?
Yeah.
So he was the head coach in Atlanta?
It was probably interim.
Oh, got you.
Oh, wait.
Left.
Oh, that was halfway through the season. Yeah. So he was head coach, then they demoted him to...
No,
he was defense. They interned him to head coach.
Then he went to the Rams.
Then he left.
They brought him back. Okay.
And then they brought him back. Okay, that makes sense.
Damn, that's wild. Could you imagine being the head coach twice of a team?
Yeah.
That's like,
hey, Sean McDermott.
I was going to say, hey,
we'll
Sean.
See you in 3 years.
See in a couple. Hey, Sean. Yeah, we kind of fucked up last year. What do you say about coming back and we get rid of Bean and we try it?
Can we fire the owner?
Yeah. Oof. We'll see if that motherfucker don't either give us a Stanley Cup or a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. Bills Mafia, or Buffalo fans in general are going to be fucking calling for his head.
Yeah. You got anything else on the news front here before we move on?
Nope. I think I'm pretty good on that.
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Be shocked. I'm actually shocked that the Browns got a coaching position this early. I thought for sure maybe they'd try to get somebody from either New England, like Josh McDaniels, and a second stint with him. Even the Raiders and the Cardinals, I'm surprised they don't have a head coach yet, but I guess we'll see.
All right. Let's get into this recap for the conference championship games. Patriots back in the big game for the 12th time in franchise history, going down on the road to Denver last week to beat the Broncos 10-7. Pretty gritty game. Weather was a little bit bipolar starting off, clear skies, mid 40s, everything looked okay, and then it turned into like a wintry mix there, and then it became really challenging for both those offenses. Jarrett Stidham led the offense downfield. Second drive of the game, they go up 7-0. And then they wouldn't score ever again. Second drive of the game, and then they never score again.
And you text the group chat and you said you got to go for points. And that was before the weather changed.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about this. I'm hearing all of the sports shows later on the next day, 2 days later. They're all talking about how they knew that weather was going to change. How do you not go for 3 on the 4? I understand you're on the 14-yard line.
It's early in the game, too. Just take your points now. You don't need to go for it.
You go up 2 scores. You have to.
It's a different game.
A completely different game.
It's a different game, dude. It's a defensive game because it was. You already knew it was going to be a defensive battle going against the Broncos and the Patriots have pretty good defenses. The Broncos have a real good defense. Your defense can hold them, right? I get that. That's
Mac
probably
Jones
in the back of your mind.
5 yards passing.
Mac Jones or Drake May?
Drake May. Thank you. Sorry. I'm stuck on Mac Jones for some reason. I still think Mac Jones is the quarterback for the Patriots, even though I'm a Drake May believer.
What's his face? Bailey?
Bailey Zappi?
Bailey Zappi.
Zappy hour, baby.
Yeah, so to your point, yeah, they had the chance to go up 2 scores in the second quarter. They elected to go for it on 4th and 1, turn the ball over on downs. And I know the analytics say go for it, but you take the points. This is a playoff game. You have a QB that hasn't started in 2 years. You're going against pretty gritty defense. This is the biggest game of the year. And I get it. Like, I see with the analytics, but look at the situation you're in. You don't have Bo Nix here. Your playbook is shrunking down a little bit, right? Kick the points, go up 10-0 on the Patriots. It's just simple.
Go up 2 scores.
It's simple.
And I want to know, and I don't know if anybody asked Sean Payton after the game in a press conference anywhere, did you know about the weather coming in?
Honestly, it doesn't even matter about the weather, though.
But everybody knew about the weather. You go up 2 scores when you're less than an hour away from that field being a whiteout. I saw the screenshot. It was 2:48 p.m. their time, green field. 3:40 p.m. their time, that field was an absolute whiteout. I was watching that game, and I'm pretty sure I heard, was it Tony Romo? Be like, "Oh no, Jim, I don't know where the ball is right now." Like, you're damn right, Tony, because I can't see shit either. There was a punt, and I'm watching the ref run down about 25 yards down the sideline. I'm like, he saw the ball go out, because I sure as hell didn't. So it's like, that's why it's like Sean Payton had to have known the weather was coming. That has to factor in on top of, like you said, on top of the fact that you have a backup quarterback that hadn't started in 2 years. And the reason he made that big play and had that touchdown early in the first quarter was because of a broken coverage on a defense that has been lights out all year. Like, you got lucky on that touchdown. Take the points.
And also take the weather, yes, too. Knowing about it, you get it. But even take that out of the equation and just be like, it's early, dude. You don't have to go for this. Mm-hmm. This isn't fourth quarter down by 8 or something.
Down 7,
dude.
You don't have to go for that.
Build your lead.
Yeah.
So May would eventually even the score with a rushing touchdown right before the 2-minute warning. Lutz misses a 54-yarder before half. There's another 3 points off the board. New England they missed another field goal. They're their own 2 before half. Then the snow started coming down a little harder. It was a little bit more noticeable through the third. Patriots would take the lead on a go-ahead field goal. They took 9 minutes off the clock on that scoring drive. Then the weather from the third quarter on just became impossible to really fight against, man. You were going against the other team and a whiteout situation, essentially. There was 4 missed field goals in this game, 2 by each team. The Broncos field goal, their last one, which would have been a game-tying one with 4:42 remaining, it was tipped, however. They showed the replay on that one.
I saw that.
So, I mean, yes, weather aside, he still would have made it, or at least it looked like it was going to make it, was tipped. Go ahead.
You want to know something funny about
What's
that? The player that tipped that ball got called up to the active roster that day. Do you know where he came from? The fucking New York Jets. He started the season on the New York Jets.
Oh, okay.
And then the Patriots like, yeah, we'll bring you up on our roster for an active in an AFC championship game. Yeah, come on in. Oh, you only had one of the best fucking blocks of the season. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, buddy. Like, I hope that dude gets gets a little opportunity in the Super Bowl, but I don't want him to win.
No. And then winding down the game here, Stidham throws an interception right before the 2-minute warning. They only have 1 timeout left. Patriots just needed a first down. They picked up. They win the game. Ugly game. But to that point, it could have been tied in the second quarter. It could have been tied before half. And then at that point, you're going overtime maybe. Like, again, weather aside, you know the weather's coming. You don't know the weather's coming. Just take the points that early in the game. And I get it's easy to say that now, looking back at it, you lost the game because of that, essentially, or that's one of the reasons. But it with that much time in the game and you're up, why not, dude?
Yeah.
I get you want to put this team out,
They
but
win
dude,
that game if they kick the field goal.
it just doesn't make sense to me. The second game was a little bit more exciting. We had some more scoring involved. And it was also against divisional foes, so that makes things a little bit more interesting. Seahawks got things going right out the gate. They threw that deep bomb to Shaheed, capped off by a Kenneth Walker touchdown. The next 3 drives all ended in field goals. Rams, Seahawks, Rams again. And I'll say both of these wide receivers, though, were showing out this game. Nakua, 9 for 165 and a touchdown. JSN, 10 for 153 and a touchdown. It was a battle of the top 2 receivers in the league. JSN had 93 yards this year. Nakua 17-15. They both had 10 touchdowns. It literally was the top 2 receivers in a crazy battle, and they showed out, man. That is why you have a number fucking 1 receiver.
The crazy part is that Puka Nakua was a 5th-round pick. He wasn't supposed to be. He was technically number 2 to Cooper Kupp, my little Cooper Kupp.
They got to play him.
Yep. And Cooper Kupp gets to go chase another Super Bowl.
Beats his old team, dude.
Yep. But Puka Nakua was only a 5th-round pick, so it's like that's another thing. It's like, okay,
they hit on that though. They hit on that.
That's
nobody knew. I gotta go look this dude's college stats up because you don't even remember him in college, like out of nowhere, and then he becomes the number 1.
Finding a needle in a haystack.
It really is, though. It really is. Again, game back and forth the whole time. 17-13 Seahawks at the half. Third quarter was all touchdowns. There was a muff punt by the Rams, which led to a 1-play touchdown. Jake Bobo, 4th catch of the year.
Of course,
got a touchdown.
Yeah,
I honestly put a couple first touchdowns on Jake Bobo throughout the year because I remember him last year. He had like 1 or 2, and I would always sprinkle on Seahawks like prime games. I would sprinkle Jake Bobo in there because he always had like 25-1, 30-1 odds. He ends up getting a touchdown in this game. Adams, who led the league in receiving touchdowns at 14. He added a postseason touchdown. They look really good with him.
Devontae Adams had 14 receiving touchdowns.
Led the league in receiving touchdowns. Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns, dude.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's kind of a surprising stat to me because because of Puka Nakua.
Yeah,
I would not have thought.
And he was hurt.
Yeah, and he was hurt. And I didn't think Devontae Adams was going to be like the leading touchdown receiver in the league. That's kind of impressive.
There was a few guys with 11 or 12, I think, but yeah, he had 14.
Can you get Devontae Adams on the Bills next year?
So here's my thing.
Sorry to throw this off topic, but shocker, that's what I do.
Here's our thing though. Like last year, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, you think it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows? He did okay, but.
No,
whatever. It was shit. I think it was it was all right, but it was a fail. It was a fail for what. Why they brought him in, you would have thought it would have been like, all right, they were putting up 14. I don't know what his numbers were last year. It wasn't even close. Now you give him Matt Stafford. He's in L.A. They play in a dome half the year. He's still in a pretty tough division, but he was healthy for most of the year. He was out probably, I think, like 3 weeks there at the end, and then he came back for playoffs. Still led the league in touchdowns. His job, though, has now changed where they are just targeting him mainly in the red zone. And that's why he's got the touchdowns this year. Puka Nakua is from the fucking 20 to the other 20. And Puka, even at 10, Puka could have had 20 touchdowns this year if Devontae wasn't on the team, right?
Well, I do remember Devontae Adams having a lot of, 5-and-goal.
Oh yeah, fade routes, dude. They were just
5-and-goal.
What we attempted to do with
14.
What we attempted to do with Keon Coleman. Now Keon Coleman's not Devontae Adams, so but Kyron Williams lost out on a lot of touchdowns this year. Higbee lost out, and all the other Colby Parkinson. Devontae Adams was the red zone threat this year. He had multiple games with 2 or more touchdowns, dude. So dude, he was I think very important for that team this year, and a lot of the success why they made it as far as they did. So down 27-31, 5 minutes to go. They got all their timeouts. It's 4th and 4 from the 6-yard line. The Rams elected to go for it. Incomplete pass. Here we go again, dude. Come on, McVay. Yeah. What are we doing? I get it, you're down by 4, but there's 5 minutes, and you have all your timeouts, and your defense has been doing pretty decent. Like, you've given up some touchdowns in the third quarter, but look, you've strapped down in the 4th. No touchdowns were allowed in the 4th, I don't think. You have the time. You have the offense that could score quickly. If you score 3 and you're down 1,
then you only need another field goal.
even if they score another field goal, you're back in the same spot again, but at least you give yourself a chance because they ended up getting the ball back with 22 seconds. They couldn't stop the clock. It's ball game.
I did see that.
Nakua couldn't get out of bounds. His knee, he was down right before he slid out. But I mean, it becomes a little bit different a game at that point. You play a little bit differently. You're down by 1. You know, you got that in the back of your head, like a field goal wins it now. It just doesn't make sense to me. I understand why you would go for it. Again, analytics are probably like, yeah, it's like 60% if you go. But, dude, 4th and 4? It wasn't even like 4th and 1, dude. It was 4th and 4 on this. I get you're on the 6, but like, kick it. Down by 1. Plenty of time. All timeouts. I think in that situation, the analytics would point you the other way. So, to that point, I think it was another blunder there by the coaching staff. I did pick the Rams last week. They did have a chance to sneak this one out and upset the favorite, but it wasn't to be.
It just, I don't know. I feel like Matt Stafford had a damn near perfect game, and so did Sam Darnold. But I just feel like Matt Stafford is one of those quarterbacks, kind of like Josh Allen. I hate to say this because Josh Allen just had his worst postseason career game in his life, to not be playing the AFC Championship game. But I feel like Matt Stafford played a perfect game, and his defense and his coaching let him down. And that reminds me so much of Josh Allen. And I don't want to compare Josh Allen to Matt Stafford simply because of the fact that
these guys were identical.
Yeah. They both were fantastic.
374 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks for Stafford. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks for Sam Darnold. Running game was almost identical with their top rushers, and receiving game was almost identical with their top receivers. Shit. It was literally like a mirror match out there.
Now that would have been a great Super Bowl to watch.
Yes,
I'm really hoping Seattle can put up these same numbers in the Super Bowl, and we get like a fucking 31-13 against the Patriots, but.
This is what I'm talking about. Look at no points were scored in the fourth quarter. So they take the 3. You can hold them. Your defense has been doing good in the fourth.
6, you win.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Frustrating.
I think that's coaching, but
I think so too.
I get it. McVay's been there. They've won a Super Bowl before. He's going to say he made the right decision. You go for the knockout punch. You're going to be, they were scoring on us. I don't know, man. They stopped scoring in the third quarter. Yeah, I don't know.
So it is what it is, but Rams will see another day. I give Matthew Stafford a shout out too.
He's in the running for MVP still.
Yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna win.
You think it's gonna be Stafford?
Yeah, it'll be Stafford.
It could be May. It could be Drake May.
Stafford's gonna win the MVP. And I think mainly because Stafford's never had one before. It's kind of one of those. They're like, oh, well, May's only in his second year. We're not going to vote for him because he's got more time. Stafford hasn't had one before. This could have been his last season. We're just going to get to Matt Stafford. I think Matt Stafford is more deserving, but I think that's how voting is going to go. And I lost my train of thought for where I was going with that before you said Matt Stafford MVP.
Do you remember your fun little stat?
I do. So, since 2010, every NFC team has played in the NFC Championship game except for one. Do you know who it is?
NFC what team? NFC.
Every single NFC team has played
the entire NFC?
In the NFC Championship game since 2010. So, in 16 years, every single NFC.
Bears.
Nope. Their last Super Bowl came against the Bills.
Giants.
No, that was the first one against the Bills lost. Cowboys. The fucking Cowboys have not been in the NFC Championship game since they won the Super Bowl in 1995 or 94, whatever that was. That's
Cowboys, go Cowboys, Jerry Jones.
But hey, their fans will say, it's our year. No, it's not, because you haven't even fucking... The Panthers have made the NFC Championship. The Commanders / the Redskins.
They didn't make the NFC Championship. When did the Panthers make the NFC Championship?
The year they lost to Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're right.
Yep. That was Cam Newton.
Cam Newton year, yeah.
He's like, the ball. Oh, God, I want to fall on it.
That was so bad.
That was so bad. Like, that's when people are like, NFL's fucking rigged. That dude could have fallen.
That was before DraftKings.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
That was before DraftKings.
That's what I'm saying. That was before DraftKinks. But yeah, that's a fun little stat that I heard. I was not expecting it to be, and coincidentally enough, I don't know who's got the most AFC Championship appearances or AFC appearances in the Super Bowl since 2010.
Who?
The Patriots with 10. So the Patriots have been to the AFC Championship game 10 out of the last 16 fucking years. Like, god damn it.
It's the Patriots, dude. That's the Patriots. We can't run away from them. We can't get away from them. All right, real quick, we'll do a little bit of a Super Bowl 60 preview here. We'll talk more in depth about it next week. So we got Darnold versus May, Santa Clara, California, which is the 49er stadium, not in San Fran.
Same thing. It's San Francisco's stadium. That'd be like saying the Super Bowl's in Buffalo. No, it's in Orchard Park.
That is very true, actually.
So shut the
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. That was a very good analogy there. Patriots have won 16 out of their last 17 games, shaking off the 1-2 start to the season. May, 23-year-old MVP candidate, led the league with a 72% completion rating during the regular season. He ranked third with 31 touchdown passes, fourth in yards with 43.94, and also rushed for 450 and 4 touchdowns. And May was sacked 47 times, which is the fourth most, though. So despite being sacked the fourth most, he had top 5 performances on offense this year.
And one more quick stat.
Go ahead.
Fun little stat. The reason that the Denver Broncos hosted the AFC Championship game with the same record as the Patriots is because the Raiders beat the Patriots week 1.
Yeah.
Could you fucking imagine if the Patriots actually won?
We
that
thought
game?
the Raiders were going to the Super Bowl. Well, Jimmy did, but
no, I don't think he even.
No, I know.
I thought the Raiders.
No, I know. We were like, oh, the Raiders are in. They're 1-0. They were leading the division because everybody else in the division lost.
You're right.
That is funny. Seahawks, they've won 9 in a row in 13 of their last 14. Darnold's career revival continues. He's completed 67% of his passes, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks in the regular season. He's basically showing the Vikings why they made a mistake.
Oh, huge mistake. It's
crazy, dude. Like, that was a resurgence year for him, and people thought maybe it was a fluke year. It was the right system. It was the right coach. He had the right pieces around him. They didn't want to bring him back. We're going to believe in a rookie quarterback that missed the entire rookie season to be our savior here. And that didn't pan out. And he was hurt for multiple games this year. And Justin Jefferson is quarterback proof. No, he's not. And Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones got paid a shit ton of money, and he got hurt. And don't worry, we got Jordan Mason, and he's not that good. Yep. And don't worry, our defense will save us, and no, they won't. But we'll make the playoffs, and no, you didn't. So, like, literally from where they were last year to this year, the Vikings just really fucked up, man. And it all starts with not paying this guy what he was worth and letting him walk and trusting in a rookie quarterback. And it just didn't pan out, man. And now the Seahawks, with that team, they have a quarterback, they have the receivers. They went out and made that trade at the deadline to get Rashid Shaheed, who's going to be great in the return game and also a good second option, a good deep threat. It kind of gives Cooper Kupp more breathing room to be like a true number 3 because he is more of a slot receiver, I think, at this stage in his career. He's not the number 1. He hasn't really done anything as a number 2 this year. He's getting up there in age. Put him in the slot. I think he's a far better slot receiver. A lot of pressure comes off of him. And then you have arguably a top 5 defense, top 3 defense with the Seattle Seahawks in the pass and the run game. So I don't know. I think they're favored. I think they're like a 5-point favorite, 4.5.
And it'll probably stay that way.
It'll probably stay that way.
Injuries.
I hate 3.5, 4.5. Those numbers are weird.
Probably about accurate though.
I would say, I think they cover that. I won't give out my predictions, but I think they do cover that. We'll wait till next week to give our score predictions, but I think they can. I think the Seahawks would win this game, and I think they could cover that at this point. I just don't. I see both of these teams. Good coaching. You have good quarterbacks. The run game is, I might give a slight edge to the Seahawks, but honestly, the doublehead with Stevenson and Henderson, I think they can compete. It's just the receivers are just far better on the Seahawks, and the defense,
for sure.
and the defense is better too.
I keep seeing the meme.
That's where it's outweighed.
And I hate fucking seeing this meme. Oh, Josh Allen probably would have gotten to a Super Bowl too if he had Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins. First off, motherfucker, Stephon Diggs didn't do a goddamn thing this year unless he played the Bills. He had that one game against the Bills where he went absolutely fucking nutty against catches and yards. He had 4 touchdowns on the season. Matt Collins was hurt for half the season, and Matt Collins isn't even the number 2 on that team.
He's like the 5 because they have 9 receivers.
Booty or whatever his name is.
Yeah, but they don't. He is number 2, but they don't.
Who's number 2?
Booty, but they don't. They don't really subscribe to that like hierarchy. They have a bunch of guys that kind of sub in and out.
Which was
Demario Douglas is in there. So Diggs this year had 1,000 yards, bro. I mean,
barely had 1,000 yards.
He's still a 1,000-yard receiver. He only had 4 touchdowns, four touchdowns, and this is low though. I mean,
5 receptions.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Like 12 receptions
against the Bills.
140 yards against the Bills.
One game.
12 yards and 140 yards.
I'd say that's pretty low.
That's very low for him. And people are like, oh, Josh Allen couldn't use a guy like Stephon Diggs. Well, they had Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs turned out to be a little bitch. And he's probably going to fucking jail.
He'll be 33 in next season.
Yeah, and he's probably going to jail after the season because his court arrangement got pushed back.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
But obviously I'm not going to dive deep into the details, but I'm just saying, like.
So the Patriots go out and they'll get a number 1 next year.
Probably. They
aren't going to fuck it up. They'll get a number 1.
The Patriots had the number 1, like, cap space in the league going into this year, and they spent it all on the offensive line and defensive line. That's why they had a good defense, they had a good offensive line, and that's why Drake May had the season that he had. Like, if the Bills have been in cap space purgatory for 4 years now, and we're like,
and we owe Josh more money next year.
I don't know how that works.
I don't
know how Josh Allen's. We could probably get into that later in the offseason if you want to do an offseason like.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but I think we do. I think the way it's structured, he will be making more next year, so it's going to be even harder on us. But
going to go up, so I think it works out.
Okay.
Everything that I've seen, the professionals have said that they signed Josh Allen to his deal when they did at the perfect time because it's a lot of money, but it's not going to hurt their salary cap as much as a lot of like Tua's salary hurts. Kyler Murray's salary hurts against the cap. Like there's a lot of other quarterbacks they paid so much in such a little time at the wrong time. It was like, okay, Josh Allen got his in his 3rd year, boom, done. Like it's a good salary, it's a good cap space, whatever you want to call it.
Make sure that I forgot where I was going here. Oh, there it is. So real quick, some interesting kind of betting stats here. This is the first Super Bowl in over 50 years between 2 teams. It's not really a betting stat, I guess. 2 teams that entered the season with 60-1 odds to win the Super Bowl.
No shit.
Both the teams had 60-1 odds.
I knew the Patriots didn't have good odds, but I thought the Seahawks would have had better odds.
Me too.
Because they were a good team. They made the playoffs last year with Joe Smith.
Maybe because they didn't know what they were going to get with Darnold. It could have been a wild card.
Yeah, that's true. I bet against Darnold this year in the playoffs because of what he did in Minnesota last year and what he's done previously and with the Jets, Panthers, and Niners.
Underdogs are 5-0 against the spread, 4-1 outright in the past 5 Super Bowls, including 3 straight outright wins. So the underdog has won 3 years in a row outright, meaning Patriots. They're looking good for this. It's 5-0 against the spread too. So Patriots plus 4.5 would be 6-0.
Damn.
And then Vrabel and Mike McDonald were 2 of the favorite coaches to win Coach of the Year in closing odds in DraftKings. No one has won Coach of the Year and the Super Bowl in the same season since who?
Andy Reid?
Nope. 2003. Who?
2003.
Coach of the Year. Think of a good coach.
I'm dating myself, Joe Gibbs, but I don't think.
Not that old.
I don't think that. I'm dating myself.
Think of 2003. Do you know who won the Super Bowl in 2003? That would be the answer.
No, who won the Super Bowl?
Well, they were in our division.
Oh, Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Dude, I'm thinking 2003. That was like 50 years ago. That's how I feel. That's why I said Joe Gibbs, and Joe Gibbs has been a
23 years ago.
Probably 40 years. Oh my God. I aged myself with that Joe Gibbs answer. Joe Gibbs Racing, by the way, NASCAR. Be first or last.
Ricky Bobby. And I'll close things out and just say, everybody's got the Seahawks, more experienced QB, better defense, better skilled players. They played the harder schedule throughout the year. They're more battle tested, so it's looking like them. There's a reason why they're favored in this one. I don't know. I'm leaning that way. I'll give out my score prediction next week, though, on that. I'm not gonna. We won't do pick'ems this week. We'll do pick'ems next week for the Super Bowl, I think. Yeah. But the recap, I don't remember. I know that you said you hit yours, and I think I hit mine as well.
We both hit our actual, side bet hits.
What was our side bet? It was Nakua?
I had Nakua over 7.5, and I had the under for the Patriots-Broncos game, which hit by a fucking
mile, yeah.
And then you had over Sam Darnold passing yards, and then over...
No, I had over Stafford passing yards.
Over Stafford passing yards. Yeah. You had over Smith and Jigba yards, maybe?
I think so. I think I had both, so yeah.
Yeah, we hit everything that we hit.
We both hit.
Of course, I didn't actually fucking put it.
I forgot to put mine in, too. We talked about it. We never put it in there. Whatever. No, I wrote it down. I had Stidham under and Stafford over.
Oh, okay. Yes.
What was Stidham's yards? Yes. Did I hit Stidham?
Oh, Stidham was way under. He had like 138.
Okay, it was 190. It was 190.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, he was way under.
And then I said interception, and guess what? He threw an interception at the end of the game,
that
too.
That was a weird fucking... Well, he had the weird fucking, fumble, and then he had the interception at the end of the game, too.
Real quick, we'll talk a little Sabres here before we close things out. We're back
on the warpath, dude.
We're back on a win streak again, dude. We're back on a win streak. What are they? Won 4 straight here. This was off that 5-game road trip here. They lost that first one to Carolina. Then they won in Nashville, won in Montreal, won at the Islanders, and then they won heavily against Toronto in Toronto, 7-4, dude.
Last night, that was a great game.
Dude,
I watched the highlights. I missed the game.
When have we scored 7 goals against Toronto last?
It's been a long time. You'd have to Google that.
25 years, dude?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, it was a rhetorical question, but
Toronto looked like absolute shit. Toronto's 0-4-1 on their 5-game homestand. They look like shit. I love to see it. Rasmus Dahlin got his first hat trick last night, and he had 2 assists. He had a 5-point night last night.
Hell yeah.
Unfucking real. Shout out to fucking Rasmus Dahlin. I know he's going through some personal shit too. I think his wife lost a baby. That's horrible. But the Sabres are now 3rd in their division. Yeah. They're not even in the wild card. They're in a playoff spot.
Toronto is second to last in the division.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck them, dude.
Love to see it. And Montreal, we're fighting with them. We play them tomorrow night?
No, we play... Who
do we play tomorrow night?
The Kings.
Oh, the Kings. Okay, but we play them Saturday night. I know that. I'll be at that game. The Montreal, we played them now 3 times in 2 weeks, and we've just absolutely owned them. It's been nice to see. The Sabres look like a playoff team. Every game I watch looks like a playoff hockey game, and I fucking love to see it. And it's just it brings me back to those early 2000 days where it's just hockey was, I'll say it, Buffalo's a hockey town. I know the Bills are good, and the Bills have been good, but when both teams are good, Buffalo's more of a hockey town.
It was.
It is.
I still don't think so.
I promise you, if both teams were good side by side,
I think as long as Josh Allen's our quarterback, it's going to be a football town.
I would take one Stanley Cup over Super Bowl.
I would take the Super Bowl.
I would need 2 Super Bowls over one.
I'll take the Super Bowl. I think it's harder to win a Super Bowl.
I think it's harder to win a Stanley Cup.
All right. You got 7 games though. You got one game.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
No, it's not. You have a chance. If you lose one game and then you're out. That's why it's harder, dude. It's a one and done.
Harder-ish.
No, it's harder. It's 100% harder.
Playoff games.
Yeah, because there's only one game. You can't lose, Jeff. You can't lose. That's the whole point. You have to go undefeated.
It might be the cold medicine that I took earlier before I came over here, mixing it with the beer to fucking make me loopy a little bit.
Hey, they're only 4.5%, so you're good.
But I promise you, I really think that before, even when the Bills were good, Buffalo's always been a Sabres.
I know what you're saying. I see.
Hockey's been the most consistent thing in Buffalo. You had that 4-year stretch, 6-year stretch in the late 80s, early 90s with Jim Kelly and the Bills, and you didn't see him again maybe till the late 90s, early 2000s, and then you didn't see him again until Josh Allen showed up.
Dude, I just realized this is the first 2-game losing streak we had recently since December 5th and 8th.
Damn. That's wild.
But this is what I was talking about. I say this all the time at work when I talk with Dave. And
we talk about it too.
And I'm like, you have to go on more win streaks than you do lose streaks, right? I'm not saying you have to win 13 in a row every time, but if you win like 3 or 4, you drop 1 or 2, fine. You can't lose 5, win 1, lose 3, win 2, lose 6.
You can't win 4, lose 3.
You just got to win more than you lose. And that's what they did. They went on that win streak there, which was huge. Yep. Then they lost 1, fine. But then they went back to 3. Then they lost 1. Then they won 2. They lost 2. And then they won 4 again.
It was an overtime loss. So at least got a point.
So they at least got a point. But
Minnesota's, I watched that game. That was a great fucking game. That was a Saturday 1 o'clock game. Like, Minnesota, like, the Sabres looked like ass the first fucking 2.5 periods. The Sabres really didn't come alive until that third period. That was a Saturday game. Remember watching that? And
when did we get Lion back? Right here, right? Nashville game.
Yep.
So they've been easing him back in.
Lion is 9-0 in his last 9 games. Second shutout of the year. 6 shutout overall. Luukkonen does not have a shutout this year.
Yeah, but it's all right. We're still winning with Luukkonen.
Hey, I'm fine with it. I love our
the goalie rotation is working out.
I love our 3-headed monster with goalies right here because Ellis has been injured. Lion's been injured. Luukkonen's been injured. So it's like, well, I didn't want to have 3 goalies, but it's kind of been working based off of the injuries.
It's worked because of injuries.
It's worked out.
You don't want to do that just because you want to play the hot goalie anyways.
I get it. I think Lion and Luukkonen should both be battling for the hot goalie and the number 1 goalie.
Oh yeah, what was
I don't know.
I forgot what was going to... Oh, no. Doan.
Oh, Doan got a 7-year, $6.95 million per year contract extension. Love to see that. Shane Doan's son. We all love Shane Doan growing up. Former Phoenix Coyote great. Josh Doan, realistically, he's been absolutely fire. Coming into the season, I kind of think we won that Peterka trade. I wish Michael... Well, realistically, we traded Peterka...
Short term, yes. So far, he's been okay. Long term,
Peterka for Kesselring. Dome was an added trade to that.
Okay.
That was like, all right, give us another one. They're like, okay, we'll give you Josh Doan. It's like, all right, we'll take him. And then Kesselring has been hurt all fucking season, on and off. I don't think he's done shit for this team this year. What was his stats?
Back. He came back here.
He hasn't done shit.
Let's see. He's got 1 assist in the last 5 games.
Well, scroll up. Didn't it show his whole stats?
1 assist.
1 assist.
No, that was
point.
it.
That was his first fucking point as a Sabre. So it's like, okay.
Against the Islanders,
but Josh Doan, he's gritty. He's tough. He's in front of the net, which him and Benson are the best 2 at getting in front of the net, pissing off the other team's defense, pissing off the other team's goalie.
Yeah.
They're in the corners. They're battling for pucks. They're out there. They're scrappy little motherfuckers, and I love to see it. Josh Doan plays so much like his dad. You're way too invested in this bet right now.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. You keep staring at Baylor versus Cincinnati.
Hell yeah. We're locked in, dude.
All right. Well, that's all I got to say about the Sabres. I just love the way they were playing. Sabres on the warpath. I think we're going back to the playoffs this year.
Finally, I think so too. Just the way that we've been playing.
As of now, we have a 69.2% chance. To make the playoffs. I'm all here for it.
Yeah, and I'm excited for playoff hockey too, which we haven't got to witness in a long time, especially since the Bills have been out. It gives you something to watch from here on out too. Playoff hockey is great because there is series, and just because you lose doesn't mean it's over, dude. So it's fun, dude. It lasts forever. You want every series to go 5 to 7 games. I love it, dude. I love when hockey reaches into fucking April, dude. It's great. In May, it goes to May, doesn't it?
It goes to July or June.
Yeah. Well, it could go to June.
It goes to mid-June.
That's what I mean.
The season ends mid-April. And then after all the series, it's like early June, mid-June.
If we can get some June hockey.
Because I remember in middle school, 1999, it was the year that the Sabres went to the Stanley Cup Finals. I remember having my last day of 6th grade before the end of the Sabres Stars series in Stanley Cup Finals, because my teacher was a fan and she wrote in my yearbook, yada yada yada, go Sabres, whatever. But that's like how I remember how long the season goes for. I was done with middle school before the series ended. The Stanley Cup Finals, anyway.
That was a while ago.
Well, yeah, it was about 27 years ago, brother.
It's like black and white TVs.
It was black and white TVs, dinosaurs, dirt was fucking new.
Yeah, like Flintstone cars and shit, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude, we were fucking pedaling around.
All right, guys, we're closing out here on an hour and a half. Like I said, we will be back next week. We'll preview the Super Bowl a little bit more in depth. We'll talk about the end of the year awards, beer, sports, everything. And then we'll sprinkle in some episodes from that point on through the rest of the year. I know we're going to do a March Madness tournament. We'll do our brackets again. We'll talk the tourney, and then once we get to the draft, we might do a couple draft episodes as well.
And maybe depending on what the Sabres do, man.
Yes, honestly, I don't mind doing hockey. Some playoff hockey for the podcast. That would be something new. We could definitely do that. It would be a first time doing it, so I have to think about a structure on how I want to do that. But I wouldn't mind previewing some of the other playoff games, and we talk Sabres playoffs. That might be a good thing, and it could last because they're going to be series. So you never know what we can get out of that.
I think you get about a week and a half.
There we go.
Series, so you can probably get 2 episodes out of one. If they only make one series, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
Get a couple extra.
That's a good idea, though. I like that. So there are some things to look forward to, guys. But with that being said, I'm Mikey D.
I'm Jeff.
We out.
Go Bills. And Sabres.
Beer on tap, tables about to snap. Wide right miss, take another sip. From Orchard Park to the studio, Mikey D and Jeff with a G. It's the Bears and Buffalo Show.